Hi everybody. So for my Asperger's vlog today, I'm going to talk about connecting with people, relationships, friendships, whatever you want to call it. It's something that a lot of us with Asperger's syndrome definitely struggle with. And so I'm going to share some of my own experiences and feelings about this subject. And if you are a person with Asperger's syndrome and you have something to share on the subject, feel free to comment on whatever I say and share your story. So anyway, when it comes to relationships and connecting with people, I have very mixed feelings. And on one hand, I have this desire, I want to have friends. I want to feel like I matter to people, and I want to feel like my life matters. And I've always had this kind of belief that life itself is really about love and the relationships we have with others and, helping others, being there for others, that kind of thing. So on that side, I definitely want to connect with people. And I find people fascinating. I love to read memoirs about people of all kinds. And I especially am fascinated by people who are different. Your creative people, your geniuses, your even your mentally ill, anybody that's really different than, your average everyday Joe. Those are people that fascinate me. And now, on the other hand, while I do feel all those things, I also struggle greatly with connecting to people. And part of it is just, I feel so awkward trying to connect with people that I don't really know. And even if I do kind of know someone, it's hard for me to get from that level of just casual acquaintance to anything closer. And it's not because I don't like those people or that I'm trying to push them away or brush them off or anything. And I worry that sometimes it comes across that way when that's really not how I feel. It's just I always feel so awkward and I don't know what to say and I don't know, um, I just feel so out of place when I'm trying to connect with someone like that. And I can connect with people really well on an intellectual level, like talking about things that I know a lot about or that I'm interested in. But when it comes to connecting on an emotional level, I really struggle with that. And the only exception to that probably somewhat would be my family. And I am better at emotionally connecting with them. Especially, I've always felt like if you live with me, then you'll really get to know me. But if you don't live with me, you'll probably never really, really know me. Now, you may know parts of me, but I don't know. It's just you would have to live with me and be around me all the time for me to be able to really open up myself to you the way that I wish I was able to open up to people easier. And as it is now, probably the only people I really feel deeply, deeply connected with are my husband and my mother. And, they both live with me. So that's a big part of why, I think. And when we had foster kids, I felt like I really connected with some of them, and I think it's because they lived with me, and it's just easier for me for some reason when someone is around constantly. I can't when I'm out in public. I try to create this publicly correct or politically correct or I have a tendency because I can be too honest and strong about my own feelings. I have a tendency to tick people off sometimes. And all through my life, I've sometimes ticked people off or gotten kind of attacked when I really didn't mean anything by whatever they misread or they thought I meant something else. And so I've almost gotten to the point where I'm afraid to say much of anything because I'm afraid I'm going to say something wrong and I'm going to tick people off, and I don't want that. So I tend to kind of try to rein everything in and just be agreeable and easy to get along with when I'm out in public. But when I'm at home, I can't do that 24/7. So if you live with me, you get to know the real me, not the me that is trying to please people or be easy to get along with or not make people mad. that kind of thing. So that's kind of my struggles. And um, there's also a part of me, like I said, there's part of me that really wants friends and really wants to be close to people. And then there's another part of me that doesn't. And that part is the part that loves to spend time alone, loves to get lost in my own interest, especially my special interests. That's the side of me that would rather stay home than go out to any kind of social event. And that side of me wins out a lot, especially when it comes to like social events. It is hard to get myself motivated to go to a purely social event. And I've come to the conclusion that maybe I'm not made for those kind of events. When I work somewhere, I'm a very reliable worker, and I'm always on time. I always do my job. But when it comes to just going somewhere just to meet people or whatever, I have a really hard time with that. And again, it's different if it's like a class or something. I can get up and go to a class if I want to learn about something. I don't have to argue with myself to get me to go to that. But I do have to argue with myself if it's purely social. And um, so I constantly have this war in myself between the part of me that wants to socialize and create relationships and the part of me that just really doesn't. I mean, there's a part of me that is content with only having a couple of close people in my life. And most of my life, there have only been a couple of close people at a time in my life. Even when I was growing up, I had friends, but I typically only had one or two good friends at a time, and those friends I typically spent a lot of time with. I spent, so much time with them, we might as well have lived together, and that's kind of why they got to know me. So that's just the way I am, I think. Part of me is just the kind of person that would rather have a couple of close relationships and nurture those and be loyal to those, and I'm happy with that. But in my mind, there's always this thing that says, you don't have enough friends, you're not social enough, you know, you're not making a big enough difference in people's lives, you're not helping enough people. And I do try to listen to that side of myself, and I definitely, when I say that I don't necessarily want a lot of friends, that does not mean I don't care about people. I care deeply about all people. Like, my husband would tell you, I care about everything that happens to everybody that's sad in any part of the world, and if I could, I would change everything that hurts anybody, and I would comfort everybody that I could, but I can't. And I'm a very sensitive person, but I can also be a very private person. And there is a side of me that's even kind of been jealous of people who are just natural social butterflies, or those people that just they walk into a room and everybody's drawn to them, and they just want to know them, they want to talk to them, they want to be their friend. I'll admit there have been times I've been jealous of those people. And I wish I had that natural kind of ability, but I don't. And I think I have a lot of other gifts that I've really learned to appreciate, perhaps even because I'm not that kind of a social person. And when I've worked with people who were kind of like those kind of social butterflies, sometimes it was a struggle because I would get really frustrated. And part of it may have been a little bit of jealousy, like I wanted to be really popular like they were in a sense. But I think it went beyond that, because some of those people really drove me crazy, because some people that are really social, they don't work. All they do is talk, like, and they get away with it because everybody likes them and everybody wants to be around them. So pretty much it seems to me like, they hardly did their job. And I don't want to say everybody's like that, because I did work with some people who were really social, who were really good workers. But I also did work with people who just, like every time you turn around, they're just talking to somebody and they're not doing anything. And that really got on my nerves. But so that's kind of how I feel about the whole connecting with people and the whole relationship thing. And so I just wanted to share that and, see what anybody else wants to share, see if you've felt the same kind of feelings or thought the same kind of thoughts. And I appreciate you all watching, and I'll see you later. So bye.